David Duke, top of the arc. Here's Pip, guarded by Gillespie. Steps back, spins, fires! Woo! Pip Gaines!
They get another crack. They'll go to their senior. And he lays it in. Two big buckets by Alpha Diallo.
David Duke, down by 3. 5 seconds. Reeves for the tie. He got it!
All right. Welcome back, everyone. You are listening to Behind the Dish Sports. I'm Ben Bellotti, and right here with me is Robert Cannon. Robbie, how you doing right now?
Doing pretty good, Ben. How about you?
I'm doing good under the circumstances. I mean, it's a little weird right now in a different setting. We're back at home instead of in the WDOM studio, but, we're still going strong, trying to stay safe, healthy,
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a good way to pass like an hour of time because, man, do I need to.
Yeah, no, you need something to do.
Yeah. I mean, today's show, there's not many good topics to talk about, clearly. I mean,
No,
there's not much going on in this world.
it's not a particularly exciting show. I think we can make it pretty good, but
We'll try.
it's a lot of topics that aren't exactly uplifting. So
Yeah. We'll see what we can do, but you want to jump right in?
yeah, let's do it. So we got bad news off the bat. I mean, everyone's aware of it at this point, but I just want to get your take and your reaction on it. So obviously we're home in quarantine because of this coronavirus. So that means no sports. Everything's been shut down. It started with the college Ivy League sports getting shut down, and then the NBA originally said no fans, then just postponed the season altogether. That was then followed by pretty much every league. For a moment, the NHL is still alone, and so did the PGA Tour, right?
Yeah, so I'm gonna kind of we'll go chronologically in order of
right.
what happened, but I got some.
Right now we're in a world with no sports being played.
No sports. The only sport left is UFC, but that's essentially like Friday night. So you get one night of sport, and it's fighting. But yeah, so essentially, I mean, I'm not gonna. I mean, do you want to count the Ivy League? It's not really a big deal in my opinion. They were the first to go, but like, it's not a huge event.
No, it's not a huge event, but it that was more for like the players and the students thing that really affected them. It didn't, obviously the fans, no one really watches that a ton. But I mean, they were the first ones to stop the tournament, and then they just canceled all spring sports altogether. So that's the real killer here, and that's what's getting which then led to the NCAA to do the same thing for everything. So I think we can talk about that, but I mean, that's just for the players. It's real tough. Luckily, there are talks, and it's looking likely. I've talked to a couple athletes in the NCAA. It looks like they are going to get that 5th year of eligibility, so the seniors can still have their last season. But it kind of stinks that they have to do that.
Yeah, no, so I saw that too, which is, I think, well, one, I don't know how many of them are going to be able to actually use it, because, I mean, at some point, you gotta kind of go out into you can only be in college for so long, but, so we'll see. I mean, obviously, if you're in a position where you can do it, why not? But I know one of my friends, his sister, is a senior down at a D2 school in Long Island. She plays softball, but I mean, she's about ready to go out into the real world, and she's not gonna take her 5th year. But yeah, so it is a good thing though that they're doing that. I mean, because it's unimaginable to lose a senior year like that.
It's really great for the seniors. Honestly, the whole shortening it can probably be viewed as a good thing for some athletes. I mean, get drafted a year earlier, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, so the college sports, obviously the biggest domino that fell of all of them was March Madness.
Yeah. Big blow. I mean, that's what we'd be doing right now, sitting at home watching.
Literally, we got the email that we were going to be on Wednesday night. We got the email from Providence College just saying that until like what, April 14th it is?
After the day after Easter. So basically, instead of going back home for Easter break, we just stay home for that entire time, which it's pretty terrible. It's kind of boring. Nothing really to
But
do.
on
Now
the bright side, I was like, I can watch every March Madness game because of it.
I was like, oh, good, we got March Madness. Once the MLB starts up, I'll have time to go see Red Sox games. It can't be that bad. And then everything just comes crumbling and falling down.
Yeah. So Wednesday night, my mom and I are driving to New York to watch. To get ready, we're going to both sessions of the Big East tournament on Thursday, then A10 Friday, then back to the Big East for Saturday. So we're on our way down there when we get the email. And then that night, just the dominoes all fell. Rudy Gobert tested positive. NBA suspended for the year.
Actually, speaking of Rudy Gobert, a kid in my town, Westerly, got an autograph from him and got the virus.
Oh, I did see that. I did read that.
Yeah, you actually sent it to me. But yeah, I mean that's crazy. At first, they weren't sure if it was him or Donovan Mitchell, but it was confirmed that it was Rudy Gobert. But I mean, really, that's what sent this whole thing down with the sports, was him getting it. I mean, that shut the NBA down instantly. They literally mid-game took fans out. They said they shut the game down. Said you have to leave. You're safe, but you have to leave. So and every league just followed.
So yeah, Rudy. I mean, I saw that some people were saying that there might be a grudge held by guys in the league against him because he was reckless. I kind of, from my viewpoint, I don't think that he should be reprimanded by his peers the way that he is. In my opinion, or scolded, I guess is the word. But he was
stupid. He was stupid about how he acted, but at the time he really didn't know he had the virus. But I mean, no one should be acting like that when talks about the virus and knowing things are like going around like that. He shouldn't be acting like that. But I agree. I don't think he should be, shunned or reprimanded by anyone.
Right.
Just,
and then
stupid things.
Yeah. So then yesterday I saw the president of the NCAA said that had Rudy Gobert not tested positive, they were planning on just having the tournament without fans. So until that moment when that was, I guess, eye-opening that, okay, if one player has it, it's just there's a pretty good chance they all get it. You know what I mean?
And at first I was like, that sports were canceled before schools were, and I was like, oh, that's weird. You think people would get the virus more likely sitting in a 100-person lecture than playing a game? But then I was actually talking to my friend today, just regular conversation, and it was like, well, you think about it, everyone's in the same locker room together, hockey guys, and everyone's you're all taking showers together and everything like that. So I mean, once it gets in the locker room, it kind of just spreads. So that it kind of makes sense why it has to happen that way. And at first you're like, oh, well, this is stupid, it sucks. But then you think about it and it makes a little more sense.
Yeah, and especially in a game like basketball, in my opinion, where you're always touching your opponent.
I mean, like all the like ball games called, everyone's pretty much touching the same ball. I mean, in professional baseball, they switch it out, but basketball, like you're saying, it's always the same ball. I mean, everyone's sweaty, touching each other, in every sport. So I mean, like are these precautions over the top? Maybe not. Now that we're learning more, but I think it's better to take more action than no action at all. It's just terrible that it has to be this way.
Yeah, no, I agree. So obviously, once the NCAA tournament domino falls, they kind of all fall very quick after that, because that of all of them to stand, that was the one that was like, because of the economic impact on it. There's so much money. It was like they can't cancel. And then when they did it, it left no choice for the other leagues. Yeah. So what the MLB, what do they have? 2 weeks. MLB, they're starting 2 weeks late.
But it's been said, executives have been talking about it. They say, who knows, maybe it will be past Memorial Day it's delayed. But right now, there's no spring training. The players have been they have a choice. They can either stay at the spring training facility or go home. It's up to them. So, but like it's a terrible time for that to shut down. They're getting to the point right where they're starting to make decisions on players if they're going to make the club or not, like the ones that are on the cusp of minors or majors. Yep. So it's a really bad time for that. I don't know what's going to happen if they're going to start spring training or just go right into the regular season. We'll have to see. But I mean, at the rate we're going, who knows when it will get started again for any of these leagues.
Yes, yeah. So then the NHL fell, and the NFL's in their off season. Today they announced that the draft will be held without fans and festivities, but will go as scheduled. So that's I guess that's a plus for one league. The NFL is really the only league who's unaffected by the by the virus. But the PGA Tour, which you touched on earlier, so this week they were, I guess this past weekend, start Thursday through Saturday, they were supposed to have their big tournament. I mean, it's kind of, aside from the 4 majors, it's the biggest one put on by the PGA Tour every year. The biggest prize to the winner. It was $2.7 million, I think it was this year. So very big prize. And they play the first round on Thursday when everyone else is canceling. Not only do they play it with fans.
Yeah.
So everyone was like, wow, the PGA Tour is just going to muscle through. They're just going to keep going, and they're just going to play without fans. They're probably going to get rid of fans. But then I think it was Thursday night, really late Thursday night, they just said PGA Tour canceled for 3 weeks. Tournament canceled. So
yeah. It's kind of like how Providence College was. You know, you're thinking you're just going to blow through all these other schools around us are canceling, but Father Shanley holds strong. You know, faith can save us. Then last minute, it's like, literally, I was literally driving home, and I just see my phone blowing up with texts and emails, and I'm like, I just feel it on like the seat. And I'm like, this is just something. I pulled over on the side of the road, look at it. I'm like, oh well, I'm staying home for a foreseeable amount of time. But yeah, it's like. Yeah, I thought they were holding it out. I thought, you know, golf, if any of the sports that can keep playing, I was thinking, you know, golf, these like social distancing, you can do it on the
That's
green,
exactly what I was thinking myself. Was like, literally, you don't have to touch anyone except yourself and your caddy. Like, those are the only
everything. And you don't even if you really need to go to that extreme, you don't even need the caddy. You can just carry all your equipment.
Seriously,
you can do everything yourself.
Yeah.
So
no, I agree 100%. I thought they were gonna muscle through, but I guess it came down to like volunteers and TV networks is why they did it, the camera guys. But like, come on.
Yeah, but they could still, if they really wanted to, they could still play just themselves. I mean, my morning jog, I'm running through. I see the golf courses are filled with people. I mean, they got nothing else to do except go golfing.
Yeah, I've been there every day. I have nothing better to do right now.
Exactly. Actually, funny. I was on my run this morning, and I run by a woman on the other side of the street. She goes, "Good job, social distancing," and points to the space in between us. I'm like, "Yeah, okay, just keep on going."
Oh man.
So it's like, so you've just been playing golf with your free time, huh?
Pretty much, and then playing some pickup basketball, which is not social distancing at all. But...
No, I've been doing the same, and then it's getting to the point where, you know, parents and even just ourselves are like, we probably shouldn't be doing this. The governor of Rhode Island actually, this morning or yesterday, I think it was this morning, did another press conference, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm driving around to work, and I see football fields, kids playing pickup football, pickup basketball, and." It was like, that's too many people. You shouldn't be anywhere with that many people. She actually said, this is a little crazy to me, but she said she's going to start sending the police after kids if she sees gatherings.
Wow. Yeah, no, I mean, it's serious stuff. In Massachusetts, I think I saw Rhode Island might get done it today too. Is all restaurants and bars are going to be closing for 2 weeks, which is a takeout only, which is, I mean, that's a long time.
No, I don't know if Rhode Island's done that yet. I think it's heading that way, but as of right now, you can still go out, but I'm not.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. It'd be boring. Trust me, like, life would be boring right now, like, stuck inside this house, even if we had sports. I mean, we'd have March Madness, so it wouldn't be that bad, but like, the fact that I'm sitting here without sports is tough. Like, really, really tough.
I'm tomorrow, hopefully, you know, coronavirus pending, I'll call it, because it's coming from UPS. I got MLB The Show coming in the mail tomorrow. I couldn't be more grateful for that. I finally have something to do.
Smart. I mean, yeah. Literally, I'm sitting here like, I don't even know what to do, honestly.
No. So like, I've just been watching YouTube videos and Netflix and trying to do work if I have it, but right now I really don't have anything to do. So
brutal. I mean, casinos closed, sports books, nothing to bet on.
I mean, that place was dirty enough already. You don't need a virus to go make it even dirtier.
No, you're right. You're right. I mean, this morning. So speaking of, obviously the economic impact of the virus is just astronomical, but especially on the sports world. This morning my brother pulls out his Fidelity app and he goes, "Oh no!"
That.
He goes,
Yeah.
"Oh no! The Penn Gaming is at $9. $9.
$9. It's terrible. Yeah.
I go. Good thing I sold that at $38 the other day. Oh my god.
Yeah, we're not trying to think about that stuff because it's a little scary right now. But it'll shoot back up. It'll shoot back up.
Hopefully.
Yeah, but I mean, I can't wait for these sports to come back. Literally any sport, I'll watch anything at this point. But like you think of it, like all your friends, all your cousins, everything you normally talk about is pretty much sports, at least in our world. And that's just gone. It's like, what am I guess I'll read a sports book. I don't know.
I really don't know.
I was 2 days ago, I was watching Major League, the movie, just on the TV. My mom comes downstairs. She goes, "Oh, baseball's off. So you're watching a baseball movie. Smart." I was like, "Yeah, you gotta think outside the box."
No, I mean, hopefully, I'm hoping that we can have sports back for late April, early May. That's looking like the best case scenario right now.
Even with no fans.
Yeah, it'd be fine. If I can sit in front of my TV and watch sports, that's all I want to do, Ben.
I mean, it's honestly it's a struggle not only for the players, the staff. You see a bunch of the NBA players donating money. Players, not just NBA, all leagues are donating money to the staff. Yeah. They're out of jobs. Even the sports writers. I mean, I was just talking to you before we started. Jeff Passan put out a tweet for his 20 Questions blog that's normally about baseball and other sports. Now, the first thing listed on that 20 questions was favorite taco. So I mean, like they're running out of things to talk about. I saw he retweeted something this morning. The ESPN morning show, they're struggling to talk about things. They're literally tweeting out congratulation tweets saying, "Oh, what a great show! We really pushed through today," because they don't have any news to talk about.
It's crazy. It really is. But honestly, I want my sports back. Hopefully this all can. I don't know. It feels like we're coming along pretty quickly with the testing and hopefully a vaccine, so we can just move on.
Right. You hope so, because
But yeah, you want to talk Friars?
Yeah, I do. It'll be a little bittersweet because it's so fun to talk about, but it makes you think like what they would be doing right now. But yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, so the Friars, they ended the season with a 19-12 record,
which I haven't watched it yet. Friars basketball put on their Twitter the Friars story, the comeback story of the season. So I'm gonna watch that, but I pretty much know the comeback story. I know you do. We watched it the whole year. It was something great. They played a great season.
Yeah, they absolutely did. It was. I mean, inspiring is a word that comes to mind. Like, you don't want to throw like too big of a word. I mean, it's basketball. Let's put things into perspective here. But man, was it impressive the way that they played down the stretch.
It was fun. I mean, some of the best basketball I've ever been a part of watching.
No, I couldn't agree anymore. So Alpha Diallo gets Big East All Second Team honors.
Yep.
Which, in my opinion, well deserved.
Definitely well deserved. I mean, in the beginning of the season, I know we talked about it a lot. He was struggling, but the second half and even a little more into the first half, he started to really turn it around. And even the games he played bad, he still was putting up numbers. So he definitely deserves it. Played an unbelievable second half of the season, especially the back end of those games, putting up a ton of points, ton of rebounds, everything. So, I mean, he's one of the all-time scorers in PC. He definitely deserves the recognition, and especially for this year.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree anymore. It is so ultimately there's probably 40 teams in America who have more than that, 50, 60, 70 who have a what if the virus didn't hit, and we're one of them who have a now in my opinion we're in a really good position to win the Big East tournament.
Oh, I 100% agree. I mean, not obviously we're going to think that we're fans, but I truly do believe it. And even, the FS1 guys on TV were projecting us to to go all the way, if not win it. We were in the finals.
Yep.
They did simulations. I don't know if you saw it. They posted them on Twitter, but in the simulations, we won the Big East tournament, which, that doesn't necessarily mean anything, but it's a little something.
Yep. So that's that. I wish, and then obviously we had a real chance in the Big East tournament, but looking ahead, we were gonna get a 5, 6, 7 seed in the NCAA tournament with a real chance to make some damage.
Especially if we went far in that Big East tournament, especially if we won it. But we're going into that tournament the hottest team, in my opinion. I think in yours too, in America, winning 6 in a row against some of the toughest teams, obviously in our division, but in the whole country. And I think that we're just carried over. We just kept rolling. Everyone's going into Madison Square Garden, high hopes, high spirits. They're literally ready to play the game before it gets called off.
Yeah. No, yeah, they were at halftime of the first game when they called it off, which is incredible. Yeah. But ultimately, you just have to remember this team for what they were. The seniors, Malik, Luan, Emmett, Khalif, and Alpha were. As Coach Cooley said, they're one of the best groups to come through in recent memory.
They were a tremendous group of seniors, a tremendous group of people themselves. Just seeing them around campus, they were always in high spirits, always talking to people, brightening everyone's day, always in a good mood no matter what. You see Malik walking around in a boot, he's still a happy guy. Saw, I don't know, I'm assuming you saw what David Duke posted on his Instagram story, just praising all the seniors. Each message was personal and really you could tell he meant it. This is a group that shapes the younger guys on this team.
Yep, definitely. And, ultimately their impact both on and off the court will be tough to replace. But actually, I'm going to save that. I got a little tidbit. You might have already seen it today, some Friars news. But before we get to looking ahead for next year's Friars, let's look back and we'll each give a couple memories that personal memories from this season that will kind of stick with us. So what's your favorite memory from this season?
All right, so I'll go with my favorite memory that me personally I experienced, and just a favorite memory, kind of not overall, but another thing that sticks out in my mind. Just I say that because I wasn't there. The first thing was honestly that, obviously senior day, there was no students there, but we experienced it and it was really awesome. It was a really great atmosphere, great game they played. Obviously DePaul wasn't a great team, but they won. But that's not my favorite. My favorite was basically, in my opinion, what should have been the senior day was that Xavier game, the last game where all the students were there. Especially it was a Wednesday, right? Yeah, it was a Wednesday.
Yeah.
We were going in there expecting not that many people. It was an earlier game, I think 6 o'clock. You really don't expect that many fans. Everyone's coming from work. But by the second half, the dunk was packed. It was loud. It was some of the loudest. I think we matched the energy we had against Nova and Seton Hall. It was a energizing game. It was an exciting game. It was close. The Alpha and Pip played out of their minds that game. That's my favorite game I saw. I'm definitely going to remember that, not only because of the game itself, but because of the atmosphere and how unexpected it was for me. And that really just showed how people got behind this team, especially as they were riding that hot streak. At that point, it was 4 games at that point. So that was awesome. And then my favorite moment, just to remember, I'm just going to keep replaying it on my mind. I keep going back and watching the highlight, was the Nova game at Nova, Pipkin's mid-range shot where he got Gillespie to fall down. That's just something I could watch all day.
Yeah. All right. So those I have I got two memories that there's probably 3 things that I could be 50 years old and I'll probably always remember looking back on it. So one you mentioned was the Villanova game at Villanova. So I was down there, which is a part of the reason why that was my first real away game for the Friars. I've been to a couple local ones, but I'm actually travel stay, and that was just the whole experience was a blast. Then they come out and beat Villanova the way they did, and Luan has the night of his life.
Their home. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that's definitely one that will stick with me for a while. Number 2 is the senior night, like you mentioned as well. Those especially, not only because every senior night's special, but when you have 5 guys like we had, kind of celebrating their careers the way that they were, and then to go out and win by 30, they get their curtain call the way that they should.
Almost 40.
Yep, they get the curtain call the way that they deserve.
It was awesome.
I have the video with the curtain call, which I'm always going to be looking back on that. I remember just kind of standing there, I had the chills. It was just a surreal experience. That's the only way to put it.
We go there. There's really no student section. There's a couple students there, but it's not in the student section. We sat down. We got told we had to move because there was no student section that game. But then we ended up making our way back to kind of near the court, near the end, when we could see their send off, and that was awesome. Just having, running the shot clock out. At first, we're like, what are they doing? But then we realized what they're doing. Yeah. They're having their send off, and the whole stadium was just going crazy for them. And then Cooley talking at the end with them, they lift Pipkins up on their shoulders. It was that was a great moment. I'll always remember that, especially with that group of seniors.
Yeah, exactly. So those are my 2, Villanova and then senior night. And then the third thing that I won't remember is tied back to the coronavirus. But my mom and I got home Thursday morning. We went to New York, stayed over, and then left the next morning. And She throws the tickets on the counter. She goes, well, I guess I can throw these out. And I was like, wait a minute. Slow your roll. I think I'm going to want to keep those. I was like, ultimately, 30 years from now, this is going to be the only time that a tournament is canceled or something like this is in a time of war. That's the only time it's happened. So
yeah,
ultimately, although it really does suck to kind of look right now, looking back on it, it's gonna go down as a real historical outlier of a year. So I guess those are my 3. But yeah, I guess senior night and the Villanova game will really stick out as fond memories of this team.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. So obviously, I don't know, maybe the listeners don't know, but you and your brother have Canon Candids, which is, you're on the court taking pictures of these guys and the other teams you play. So out of that experience, what moments were you able to savor and really enjoy from that?
Oh man. So, I mean,
I know there's so many. I mean, you talk about them to me all the time, but
yeah. So kind of just, one, you get to sit on the court, but to see there's schools that you could go to. There's teams that you could shoot. I'm sure that there's photographers like myself at every school, and where the guys they're so down to earth here at PC. They're always saying hi to me and all that stuff. They all put our stuff on their page to try and help us out. So ultimately, just kind of growing relationships with the guys as if I'm no better than they are. Or as if they're no better than I am. They really, that's really kind of the vibe that you get from them. And it was pretty cool to see and to kind of live, I guess.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, just to compare it to other schools, I mean, I have a bunch of buddies at URI, and I've been out to dinner with them and their families, and all the parents or even them will just ask and be like, hey, how often do you see the basketball team? And I'll be like, oh, every day. I mean, they're always waving or saying hi to you, even if they don't know you. They're just really friendly. You see them in the dining hall, everything. And I'll be like, oh, URI, how often do you see them? They'll be like, yeah, we'll see them walking around, but we don't see them in class. They're not in the dining hall. They have all their own stuff. So it really, I mean, PC is just that community. I mean, we're going to the same dining hall or alumni food court. You have classes with several of the players. I mean, it just really shows. You're gonna get the video conference with Greg Gant. That's gonna be great.
Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of the Fryer family. And to go off of that, the Fryer family got a little bit bigger this morning. If you've been on Twitter.
Yeah, I saw Cooley saying huge day for Friartown.
Yeah, so that's what he tweets every time he lands another commitment from a player. Right. This morning, he landed a transfer from Syracuse, Bryson Godine, who's originally he went to school in Rhode Island for high school at St. Andrews, and he's returning home after his freshman year. So we're gonna get 3 years of eligibility from him. He was a top 100 recruit out of high school. So I could not be any more excited for the outlook of next year's team.
Yeah, That's going to be awesome. And I mean, you got a lot of players that were either like injured or just didn't get the shot to play because of the group of seniors we had, and now we have another good team looking up. And just before we talk about the team moving forward, this addition of Bryson Goodine, we were talking about it kind of before we left school. Not necessarily him, but how impactful us making it to the tournament and probably what going far would be for the program. I mean, you see guys like that now want to transfer to PC. And if they played out in that tournament and made it far in March Madness, it just would have grew. So,
yeah, no, I agree 100%. I mean, it's so cool, to see that, you know, but I'm happy with the direction that the team is going in.
Yeah, we got Jimmy Nichols coming.
Yep, and then we have Noah Horschler and Jared Bynum, who sat out this year after transferring, and they'll be ready to go next year.
Obviously, we have David in his senior year. AJ,
David and AJ are gonna be juniors.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna have I think we're gonna have another legit shot next year. And we have 2 incoming freshmen in Jair Davis and Alan Breed who can both play. So we'll see.
Nate Watson, obviously, he was hurt in the beginning of this year. He'll be back full strength completely.
All right, Ben. If I seemed a little discombobulated for the last couple minutes, it's because I think there was just some breaking news in the NFL.
Oh, really?
And so you want to? I know we had NFL up next. You want to transition over there right now?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So I'm seeing that DeAndre Hopkins has just been traded to the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, reported by Adam Schefter. Wow. So that is wow. All right. So that's obviously. So we'll put a quick bow tie on the Friars. I'm looking forward to next season, and I'll always remember the 5 seniors we had this year, and the what if. What could have been if this didn't happen, but is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to next year. I'll always remember my freshman year at PC with this basketball team, so I'm looking forward. But I'm always going to be grateful to have been a part of watching this Friar season this year.
Yeah, totally.
So
all right, let's transition over to the NFL quick. So, DeAndre Hopkins, who is a unanimous top 4 wide receiver in the league. Some people think he's the best. Some people, no one has him any worse than 4, to be honest with you. So this is huge news. So I saw that it was a possibility this morning that he'd be traded because the Texans have so few draft picks that I just saw that. They might be trying to get some, and how do you get draft picks? You trade away a star like this.
Right.
But I'm not seeing what. Oh, so they got David Johnson in return, who had a bad year this year, but he's a running back. He had a really good year a couple of years ago where he led the league in a bunch of categories.
I mean, that's huge for the Cardinals.
That's a blockbuster NFL trade, which you don't see every day in the NFL.
No, I mean that's. I mean, obviously, I think that's a strange move from the Texans. Obviously, you want to get draft picks, but I mean, they were in a pretty good position. They had a really good team.
I agree. If I was Deshaun Watson, I would not be too happy right now.
I mean, going to the Cardinals it's not great, but I mean, once they develop, they have Kyler there. He didn't play terrible. He's only going to get better.
Yeah, no. So yeah, I mean, DeAndre Hopkins, I think he'll fit in pretty well out in Arizona. But from a Houston standpoint, you have a great quarterback right now in Deshaun Watson, and it almost feels like you're kind of, I don't know. It's weird that you would trade away your top wideout with a quarterback like him. To me, it's try and go win now, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you're hopefully gonna have a healthy year of J.J. Watt this season upcoming, and obviously they have a tremendous quarterback. And then, I mean, Deshaun, he was just like like you said, he's one of the best running backs. You think you'd want to get maybe one more piece to help you go and get closer to that Super Bowl, but I guess they're going in another direction.
Yeah, so we'll see. Yeah, I guess that's a pretty big deal in the NFL there to break live on the show. But yeah, so then as we had on the agenda here for the NFL, so we had some Devin McCourty news.
An extension with the Patriots worth $23 million over 2 years. So, I mean, this is a guy that after the Super Bowl we most recently won, him and his brother they were considering retiring, and now had one of the best seasons of his career last year, and he's just looking to keep on rolling with the Patriots for another 2 seasons.
Yeah, no, and I think we got him at a decent value, $23 million for 2 years, so a little over 11 and a half a year, which isn't that bad. And obviously, he's been a key component to our defense for our past couple Super Bowls, and he's loved in New England. We'll take him as long as he'll stay here.
We definitely will, and I mean, he's obviously still very much serviceable player. And he brings that veteran edge that can shape. I mean, we have a pretty young defense, so he can really shape them and teach them the Patriot way and the defensive side of the game.
Yeah, no, totally. And so that's definitely a good signing. Didn't want to lose him too. Also this morning the Patriots put their franchise tag on Joe Tooney, the one of our offensive linemen. So hopefully that will go. Yeah, hopefully that'll go a long way in kind of the pitch toward to Brady, saying we're committed to protecting you, and hopefully we get him a couple weapons on the outside, so we can re-sign him.
And I'm actually just seeing this. It was reported an hour ago. I know on the agenda next, I have the Titans not being interested in Tom Brady anymore, as they're working in a deal with Ryan Tannehill instead. So it's reported that Brady's new market is only for 3 teams. He's interested with the Patriots, the Chargers, and the Bucks.
Okay, so all right, so I saw. All right, there's a couple layers to that. So one, I saw that the Bucks and Pats were like really the 2 front runners. Right. So I'm expecting one of those 2, but I guess the Chargers are also in the mix, depending on what happens with Phillip Rivers.
I think the Chargers are just in the mix because everyone's been talking about it for so long. Even if they're not necessarily, I mean, they're probably in talks with Tom Brady because what team wouldn't want to be, and all the deal with Phillip Rivers and all that. But I think just the fan, promoting that he's going to be a Charger in the media, saying what a great fit it would be. That's why it's in the top consideration. But
and so
so the Bucks and
that
Pats,
Tannehill news. In that Tannehill news too, so last night they agreed on a 4-year, $118 million deal with the Titans. Mm-hmm. So that's, to me, they overpaid for a guy who had a decent half year.
I agree with that.
That's $29.5 million a year to a guy who ultimately played like 7 good football games for you last year.
Right. And I mean, like, the Titans were never a huge contender to get Brady, but that's just one team that's knocked out the list now, definitely.
Yeah, so I mean, like you said, essentially the Brady sweeps are down to 3 teams.
And the Cowboys placed their franchise tag on Dak Prescott today. So I know the Cowboys were never realistically in the talks, but they were mentioned once or twice, so they're out.
Yeah.
That's great. That's a great move for them, unrelated, but Dak Prescott, unbelievable season for them, and I think that's their quarterback. They got to stick with him, so I'm glad they put the franchise tag on him.
No, I agree with you 100%. I would do anything. If I was a Dallas fan, I'm very happy with what they did. I would give him a long-term deal when he wants a long-term deal. He doesn't want the 1-year franchise tag. But ultimately, I would keep Dak. He's very, in my opinion, he's very good. So that's a good move for them. We'll see. So I guess really what I think the Brady sweepstakes are going to come down to is what happens with Jameis down in Tampa Bay, Jameis Winston. If they let him walk, then I guess Brady's going to have a decent chance to be heading down to Florida next season.
I guess so. I mean, I never really thought he was going to be with the Bucks or in Florida at all. I was thinking it's either Chargers or Patriots. That's what I've been thinking the whole way. But I mean, I don't know. We've talked about it before. He has the option to do whatever he wants. I mean, he deserves it. So I don't know. I'm still holding out for the Patriots. I know the talks didn't go so well, but it's also the media always corrupts what happens with the Patriots and puts us in a bad light. So necessarily, maybe it did go okay, and we just don't know. But hopefully, he's back with the Pats.
Yeah, no, I mean it's necessary if we want to have a chance to win. I don't see how at this point we could bring in another serviceable quarterback. We're gonna have to draft one in this year's draft, I think, regardless.
Definitely.
So we'll see what happens, but obviously all of New England, or 99% of New England wants Brady back.
Yeah, I mean, and even with Brady back, like you said, they're gonna have to draft a quarterback. You hope it's this year, but next year another great quarterback class in that college atmosphere. So we'll see what happens with that.
The quarterbacks are coming from everywhere.
Yeah,
it seems like every year there's 4, 5, 6 quarterbacks who have a chance to be good, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously they won't all pan out, but you can always draft one, and if you hit the right button, then you could have a star.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to this year's draft. I want to see I'm looking forward to what happens after the draft too. I want to see how Joe Burrow does in the league. I'm really excited to looking towards that. So,
you have anything else on the agenda for today?
I think we hit everything we possibly could with this.
I know there's nothing else to cover in the sports world.
Yeah, I mean, I'll do a quick glance over my phone to see if anything came through, but I think we hit everything. The only other thing, Benjamin Watson retired today.
Sad, but good long career for Mr. Watson.
He was 39 years old, over 16 seasons, so it's about time, I think.
Oh, okay. So, I'll kind of end it with this. So that DeAndre Hopkins trade was DeAndre Hopkins and a 4th-round pick to the Cardinals in exchange for David Johnson, a 2nd-round pick, and a 4th-round pick. So essentially, they swapped 4th-round picks, and then it was David Johnson and a 2nd-round pick for DeAndre Hopkins.
So it's not a terrible trade. I still think the Cardinals get the better end of that.
But, I do too. But I
guess if you're the Texans, you got to have that mindset of getting younger players and getting those draft picks. So if they're happy with it, good for them. I don't think it's the right move, but a huge move in the NFL today.
Yeah, big time for sure. But aside from that, it's very, very good to catch up with you, Ben. I'm happy. Yeah. I'm happy we could do the podcast today. Keep it going despite not being in studio.
Yeah. So hopefully we get some more news, and maybe we'll do it again. Hopefully we get to do it again and back at PC some point. But if not, we'll try and keep this up.
Yeah, I know for sure. It's PC's looking doubtful.
I know.
Unfortunately,
it's not.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. So thanks for making some time in your schedule to make this happen, Rob. Thanks to everyone who is not listening now because we're pre-recording this, but will listen in the future, hopefully. So thank you to those listeners. And it's been Behind the Dish Sports. I'm Ben Bellotti, my co-host Robbie Cannon there. So thank you guys for listening.